debates revealed opposition to Israel, the same opposition you're seeing manifesting in the American populace. It's not good enough for them. So you can say, hey, I'm just trying to talk to all sides, having conversations, but they don't grasp that that's not good enough for Shapiro and the Zionists. You're supposed to cancel them the same way that the liberal wokesters canceled people for daring to say basic things about human, physiology, and there's not 52 genders and things like that.
These are people that they wanted to support Israel. Maybe they did support Israel. They supported those that support Israel, but it's not good enough. And by the way, this is why we do these things. Are you starting maybe to understand, what do I mean by this? If I go around and I'm building up a brand on fundamentally opposing Israel and the Jewish lobby and saying the most outrageous things, I'm getting a big platform. If somebody like Tucker has me on, it stress tests the chilled conversation. Tucker's like too big to cancel. So now it creates this big division where people say, am I going to stick with Tucker? Am I going to condemn Tucker? Am I going to try to ignore it and hope it blows over? But we're forcing a confrontation because the Jewish lobby is going to say, you have to condemn Tucker. So we're sort of putting everybody in a position where they have to choose. Something like this, it becomes so big and it's sort of like unignorable, and it's forcing everybody to take a side.
Yeah, I think he's right about this, and in some ways the people that are still fence-sitting on this issue on the right are living in maybe the worst imaginable prison on this issue. They can't be honest with themselves, even though this moment calls for them to stake out a position on this issue, just like it did over the war of Ukraine, or Afghanistan, the occupation of Afghanistan, the invasion of Iraq, the Patriot Act, the DHS, the NSA surveillance state, going back further, Vietnam, all these major issues, the COVID regime, where did you stand on it? I think that's pretty important about who stood on that in the right direction at the time and opposed the totalitarian lunacy we saw unleashed by both parties over that, the religious worship restrictions, curtailments of speech, business closures, mass suffering by old people forced to die alone. Forcing people to inject big pharma drugs when they had impunity over this untested mRNA treatments, or else you get fired. Where did you stand on that? It wasn't good enough to just say, I'm just taking a pass on that one, because impartiality is partiality to the status quo. The same thing is true about the Israel issue.
The Jewish lobby is forcing them to take a side. Are you with Israel? Are you going to condemn Tucker? Or are you with America? And a lot of people are made deeply uncomfortable by this because they're saying, well, Tucker's my friend, or I don't think he did anything wrong, or isn't this contrary to our principles? And under duress, we're being forced and pressured, make the disavow, condemn, admonish. Everyone needs to do a better job. And people are saying, no, I'm going to try my best to ignore it or address it indirectly.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, to his credit, I think that Matt Walsh, I would like him to take a rigid side on this, but he says, I don't disavow people on command, especially when you're trying to tell me that I must disavow one of my friends. I think he's totally right about that. But at the same time, you cannot disavow your friend and take a stand on a genocide that the U.S. is funding, by the way, and a stand on this absurd backward commitment to this foreign road regime over the United States. You can do both, not condemn and do that. So the fence sitters lose me when they say, well, I can't take a stance on the Israel issue because I won't condemn my friends.